I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to The Resistance. Today is January 6th, 5 years after an attack not just on our capital, but on our democracy. It was a day that gouged a wound in our nation that hasn't healed, that cannot heal, until all of the evidence is laid bare and justice for all is achieved. There are few people in America who didn't either watch this unfold on live TV or see the months of coverage that followed. It's inexplicable to me how many of these same people who were horrified on that day will now parrot Trump's claim that it was just a beautiful day of peaceful protest. It was a day of brutality against police officers. Over 130 of them were injured and still live with their wounds today. 5 of them didn't survive. It was a day of promises to hang a vice president. A day of broken glass and feces smeared on the walls of Congress. A day where the Confederate flag was in our Capitol, something not even Robert E. Lee was able to accomplish. At one point, our American flag was taken down, thrown on the ground, and replaced with a Trump flag. I'll never forget watching that. There were some Republican members of Congress who gleefully encouraged this with a raised fist or by tweeting out Speaker Pelosi's whereabouts. At the end of that day, most of the Republicans recognized the severity of this attack, and they placed the blame exactly where it belonged, at the feet of Donald Trump. Just 7 days later, and all but 4 of them would join the ranks of those who attacked us by voting against conviction in his impeachment trial. And the effort to revise history would begin. A year later, and the Orwellian revision of events was still strong, but Democrats managed to include a provision in a spending bill that required the creation of a memorial to honor law enforcement officers who defended the Capitol. And it required the installation at the Capitol by March of 2023. But the Republicans in control of Congress refused to follow that law and won't allow it to be installed. Because to do so would be to admit that January 6 happened. One would think that in America, accountability for such an event would be a highest level priority. Joe Biden and Merrick Garland decided that it wasn't. By the time Jack Smith was appointed, the Republican deny and stall machine was in full swing. Thanks to late starts and court delays, he wasn't able to prosecute Donald Trump. Biden failed, Republicans failed, and the American voters failed. Trump was elected again and continues, aided by Republicans, to not only erase history, but profit from it. He pardoned all those convicted for January 6 and dropped the pending charges for those awaiting trial. Here in Colorado, my state representative, Ty Winter, he led all Republicans in the state legislature to literally turn their backs while military veterans addressed both chambers to tell them how they felt about these pardons. Less than a week ago, the U.S. House released a redacted script of Jack Smith's testimony about his investigation. Testimony that the Republicans wouldn't let him give in public. The redactions, they're hiding the evidence that led Jack Smith to testify that regardless of politics, the evidence shows that January 6 would not have happened if not for actions taken and directed by Donald Trump. The American people failed when it mattered the most by electing Trump and shielding him from accountability. It's not too late. The law requiring the release of the Epstein files, it only happened because we, the people, we demanded it. And now it's time that we, the people, demand an unredacted release of the Jack Smith investigation. Thanks for listening. Good day.